we're moving into that. This is some deep stuff. So when we can go back to our source and look at our own meditation, it takes a lot of honesty. And it takes moment to moment. This is heavy. This is not something that you master. You won't master this. You'll be on this for the rest of your eternity. And when you fall off for a moment, it'd be like you fell off for a lifetime. One moment where you're unconscious of what you're thinking about, where the mind begins to be on automatic, playing the program that has been disseminated, that is the consensus reality, that is the collective consciousness about what we can do, be, and have, and what we can achieve. When you let the mind start going on that, you just have lost for an eternity. And when you get back into the driver's seat of that conscious creation, you have just had victory for an eternity. Y'all feel the point I'm making? Time is irrelevant. Time is completely irrelevant. So when you realize that, we don't chalk up the moments and say, well, I had a positive day. Well, that was a positive week. You just lost. Yeah. Because your moment-to-moment empowerment depends on the amount of energy that you're projecting right now. That's like the sun. And we are the sun. We have a solar plexus. The sun is inside of us. We have energy, chi, whatever you want to call it. The sun is in us. We're coming from the sun. The reality of who we are is sun. It's light. Y'all follow what I'm making? That's who we are. We are consciousness. We are the sun. So this sun that's inside of us, if the sun outside said, well, already then gave photosynthesis to the plants last week, what happens? All of this nourishment and all of these forests, all this grass begins to die instantaneously. If that sun for 1 minute said, well, I had a good week, that 1 second is enough for a whole universe to be destroyed. How many of you all know that's how powerful you are? Because we talk about that we're gods, but that's egotism. Because we assume that God is being the ruler over others, or somehow being a dominant being over others. But being God is a human being that is in awareness of their own consciousness and creating through how they are projecting their consciousness. Ain't that heavy? So God is not the ruler over another. A fool can rule over another fool. Y'all hear the point I'm making? Rulership has nothing to do with God. Europeans rule idiots all the time, don't they? They're not God and have nothing to do with it. They have nothing to do with God and God consciousness. So being a God is becoming a conscious creator within your own being, projecting into a universe what you want to create and living in that creation. That's a God. Any other use of that word is completely inaccurate and inadequate. Any other use. And that is androgynous. That has nothing to do with the man being God or the woman being God, because consciousness is pure and every thinker is thinking and creating and living in the thoughts that they are creating. Do you all hear the point I'm making? Every being is. So that is an androgynous state. So there is no man is God. Consciousness is God in man, in woman. We all have a consciousness. We all develop that consciousness. And I had to go into this because someone had called me today. And they asked me, they said that some brother they was talking to that said some stuff on YouTube. He said that the woman does not have any power. And this is some position that she is supposed to be in. I said, you can't use scientific words religiously. Power is a scientific word. Every individual has power. If you didn't have power, you would have no charge, no electricity to exist. We all have power. To move something is to have power. All of us have power. Every human being that is walking and moving and existing has power, represents power. The question is, what are they doing with the power that they have? There's no human being walking this earth that don't have power. And the fact that they don't realize the power that they have on a conscious level, they create unconsciously and by default. If we knew the power that we had, then we would transform the community that we live in. We still using the same power. We're using it to keep the corner stores open. We're using it to keep the corporations open. We're using it to keep the public food system open. It takes power to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. Huh? It takes power to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and take your children to the public food system. You don't want to get up. So you need what? Willpower. So all of us is operating on power. And ain't no more power coming into the universe for nobody. It's all here. All has always been in the all and always will be in the all. The all will never get no bigger. Ain't no more power coming down from nowhere. It's all here. The problem is what the hell we doing with it. And that's when you become conscious. Wealth is not getting more, but it's the proper distribution of what you already have. We want power so bad that we don't see the real utilization of power. We don't see how we are giving our energy to keep all of this going. That's all right. Could you hand me that little piece of paper down there? All right, because I'm on to something here. Now, out of our struggle for power, man and woman, about to go heavy now, we don't realize the power that we are. And that's the same thing where we're like in the so-called scriptures. The devil said you would be like God. And he told Eve that first, didn't he? So that must have been some question in Eve's mind about how powerful she was. So she was the first woman to go on a power trip. But not realizing that power is a scientific word. It's not a romanticized concept. Power is scientific. All of us have power. It takes power to push out another human being, don't it? It takes power every day, all day, to put energy into everything that we're supposed to be doing. So all of us have power. The question is, how have we been directing the power? We want to get more power. In the 70s, we said black power. As though it was like in the 70s, we got power. Like, we didn't have no power to the 70s or the 60s. That's when black power was born. No, we always had power. We always was engaged in the scientific reality of power. We all had units of energy and units of force that we were utilizing. Our power, what? Built the cotton, all the cotton fields. We stripped all the cotton. It was our power that did that. Our power built Master's house. Our power made the chitlins, didn't it? So every aspect of who we are is power. Our very existence is power. Period. The key is the management of power. But the European takes advantage of our ignorance, because this is all he can really do. And ignorance means you ignoring reality. The word ignore is an ignorant. You have to ignore reality to be ignorant, and that's when he comes in and gives us an illusion. So they go and they tell a woman that we're going to have the women's power movement, the feminist movement. And that these white women, and we all going to get, and now the woman is going to have power. She already had power. All of us had power. We wanted power during the 70s as men too. That's when we had the Black Power movement. We desired what? Power. And we wanted the European to what? Recognize our power. He recognized our power anyway. That's how he built this shit. You hear the point I'm making? He went and got us because he realized how powerful we were. And that our power could be organized and utilized to what? Build this America that he has today. So it was not an issue of power. The issue was the realization of our power. When we recognize what our power really is and how we're spending it, because that's the real money. The real money is the power that we possess. And the system wants us to plug ourselves into it, to charge it. This is what the Matrix is about. You thinking that when you got a charge card, that you charging the damn card. No, you charging shit all right, but it ain't the card. You are giving the charge. You hear the point I'm making? And the card is a representative of how your energy is organized over time to pay debt, to charge an economic system, or to charge a reality. We're charging his reality. We are the electrical force and the electrical energy behind his reality. We go to Disney World and run all around the park, Wisconsin Dells. We're charging that park. We're getting on the rides. We're working in the park, turning the machines on. That whole light show that you see is charged by us. We don't recognize our charge. We don't. And that's why we need his economic system, because his economic system is him realizing our power and him organizing it for himself. He don't have no economic system without people spending money. He wouldn't have had this country had he not had individuals who had power to build it. None of his stuff would have existed. So we don't get into nation building when we can, in an organized and meticulous way, redirect the power that we put into his world and put it into ours. Did y'all hear what I just said? That's liberation. When we take the power that we have given, we can't get no more power. We can't get no more power from nowhere else. All the meditation you want to do. You can't get no more power from nowhere else. No more power is coming in. There's not going to be a political change that's going to give us some power. We already have the power. That's how we walk, move, and exist. And right now, that walking, moving, and existing has been working for him. And he used how we walk, move, and exist as a weapon against us. Because when we build his system up, all of our energy is usurped and sent back at us like a hurricane. Y'all hear the point I'm making? It's our energy, though. It's sent back at us. All our tax dollars is saved up so they can come into our communities with tanks. But that's our energy, though. But wait a minute, though. Our energy coming back at us, that's our karma. Y'all don't hear what I'm saying now. Because our karma, our energy, we put the energy out unaware of it. It's irrelevant. When we talk about black love and appreciating ourselves and being against black hate, we're saying one simple thing: loving our energy. That's all we're saying. When we talk about black love and black empowerment, we're only saying one thing. It's not a quest for power. It's loving the energy that we have. Because if we don't love and respect the energy